There's plenty of games that I've wanted ever since I was a child. Today, my dreams of playing some of the games in question are finally coming true. It feels good knowing that I would have enjoyed these titles had I got them at the time of their release. But what about revisiting games from before I started gaming? How about looking back to the first game in a now popular franchise? Well, I intend to do just that with the Sega Saturn port of the Need for Speed. When I was first introduced to Need for Speed, the Underground series had already blown up in popularity. Although my first game was actually Most Wanted, a game I still cherish to this day. These days, I'm older, wiser, and more curious than before, and now to finally own the Saturn port of the first game is pretty surreal to me. The Sega Saturn box itself doesn't give much away about the gameplay or any of the game's features. Guess they are that confident in the product, right? Well, let's see what the fuss is all about. For those of you who may have missed it, there's a subtitle on the box that says Road and Track Presents. This long-standing magazine focuses on reviewing all sorts of cars, and their staff helped EA to make the vehicles included feel as realistic as possible while highlighting them in these 1990s style showcase videos. More on that later. The game is a pretty simple affair. The menus are basic but function as intended and are easy to get through. There's 4 race modes to choose from, ranging from time trial to tournament modes, and of course the aforementioned showcase room for the cars in question. Before all of that, let's talk about the gameplay first. After all, Road and Track was brought in to make this particular segment as good as possible. The Need for Speed gives you around 8 different cars to play with, ranging from sports cars to full-blown supercars. Every car is so different and unique, you feel more compelled to drive each of them to get a feel for their characteristics. An example is the Dodge Viper. It has very quick acceleration and it handles well, although its braking performance isn't amazing, and at 160 miles per hour, I expected more speed from a car outputting 400 brake horsepower. The Lamborghini Diablo is the fastest car, and it can stop quickly, but good luck getting it around corners. The car is prone to spinning out. The Toyota Supra is nimble and stops quickly, but after 100 miles per hour, it starts to run out of puff the faster you go with it. The trend continues with the other cars. What impresses me most about the Need for Speed is the sense of speed. All cars feel fast, and you are always on your toes when you drive them. Although basic in nature, there's enough going on to keep you alert and ready during your drive. After all, one false move and you may end up in the nearest hedge or wall. This is not an easy game, and you will need to brake early in the tighter corners if you want to make it through unscratched. A minimap is available to assist you, but the movement is a bit off, so I still recommend braking early, and if you can, the handbrake can be used as a last resort. A technique I practiced to great effect during my time racing around the 6 courses offered in the game. this is a basic racing game then, why is it worth playing? I'll tell you. The challenge of trying to master each car is highly rewarding, and as you get better, you really start to test just how good the cars are. There's also the track designs themselves. Each course is loaded with details, especially the longer courses that are split into 5 or 6 mile segments. There's quite a lot to see, and even more than that, the tracks are just fun to race on, testing not only your wits, but your ability to handle these high-powered cars in a variety of conditions that can put off even the very best of automotive drivers. The soundscape also helps out in the immersion factor. Cars sound relatively accurate for the time period, reinforcing the fact that you are not driving the same car, and they've even copied the sound that the gearbox makes when each car changes gear. That is the ultimate in both detail and geekiness. You have to love developers to go above and beyond to include such a little detail, but they did. The whoosh of tunnels, the wind itself, and skids help you stay in tune with the environment around you. Of course, we also cannot forget the soundtrack. A mixture of rock and techno beats will keep you wanting to race over and over again. The first game in the series excels in this department. Not only is the music very well done, the CD tracks change during longer races, something not many games back then did, instead choosing to repeat the same song until the level was done. Have a listen and see if you like the music offered in this title. Righty-ho, we now need to address the elephant in the room, the showcase feature of this game. If you are into cars like myself, this is the section for you. This game is loaded with details and pictures about all of the cars featured, and it's so 90s and it's glorious. The images, text and music just scream that decade, and it is worth the experience. I love the man in question who voices all the information to you, and I'm happy that the developers took a lot of time and energy to implement all this into the game. The video showcase of the cars being driven fast to music is so very 90s in its presentation, and again, it's very well done and worth the watch. Admittedly, the Sega Saturn's video compression technique makes all of the videos a bit murky and less detailed than I'd like, but it functions and looks decent despite the technical limitations. I wish the MPEG card for the Saturn worked with this game. Never mind. The music, the editing, and the cars themselves make this one of the best cases for using FMV video in a game like this, and again, I'm all for it. The first Need for Speed game may lack substance and it's a bit light on features, but great challenging gameplay, decent visuals, great attention to detail, and a good soundtrack means you'll want to keep coming back for another shot of mastering the cars this game features. It was a successful start to what would become a popular franchise. A franchise that still continues to this day. The Need for Speed was definitely an interesting title to play for the first time. I'm wowed by how well the game has held up despite its basic gameplay structure, along with how the series started out trying to be more true to life rather than the arcadic experiences that we get with the more modern titles. If you can find the PS1, Sega Saturn or PC versions for cheap, definitely pick this game up. Yes, I know the 3DO version is also around and impressive for its day, but unless you own a 3DO, it's hard to recommend it unless you can overlook its flaws compared to the other later ports. What do you folks think of the original Need for Speed? Have you ever played it yourself? Tell me in the comments below, and I hope to see you all again next time.